In this episode of Market Foolery, host Mac Greer talks with Motley Fool contributors David Kretzmann from Hidden Gem Canada and Ron Gross from Total Income about news out of Facebook, Nasdaq, FB, and Guess, NYSE, GES. Mark Zuckerberg finally broke the silence around the Cambridge Analytica data breach situation and made some interesting comments about potential regulation in Facebook's future. How worried should Facebook investors be about decreasing user engagement in the wake of this scandal and as fewer young people are reportedly using the platform? Also, shares of Guess are up a whopping 25% on better-than-expected earnings. But the company still has some significant concerns going forward, and is no stranger to volatility. Find out more on Market Foolery. A full transcript follows the video. This video was recorded on March 22, 2018. Mac Greer, it's Thursday, March 22nd. Welcome to Market Foolery. I'm Mac Greer, and joining me in studio, we have Ron Gross from Motley Fool Total Income and David Kretzmann from Motley Fool Hidden Gems Canada. Gentlemen, welcome. David Kretzmann, hey, Mac. Ron Gross, hey, Mac. How are you? Greer, I'm good. We have a lot of good stories we're going to talk about. I say, a lot, we have two good stories. Gross, laughs, two has never been defined as a lot. Greer, that's true. Kretzmann, until now. Gross, it's not even a few. Greer, there's a lot of meat here, though. We're going to talk Guess a little later. Guess is the high-fashion apparel company. Ron. Gross, I don't know if I would call it that. Greer, did you ever go through a Guess stage? Gross, Sassoon and Jordache were my speed, but I don't really get into it. Kretzmann, back in the hedge fund days, right? Gross, laughs, oh, yeah, right. Greer, well, a great day for Guess in the wake of their earnings, so we'll talk some Guess. But guys, we're going to begin with a story that just keeps giving. Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg finally breaking his silence about the controversy surrounding Cambridge Analytica, the data firm that accessed information from 50 million Facebook users without their knowledge. That's the key part, right? Didn't know what was happening there. Now, on yesterday's Market Foolery, Chris and Tim talked Facebook, but that was before the Zuckerberg apology tour really cranked up, guys. So, I want to talk about the interviews he did yesterday and get your reaction. He did apologize. He said Facebook made mistakes. He called the Cambridge Analytica situation a major breach of trust. He said Facebook would crack down on outside apps and bolster privacy, and he told multiple outlets that he would be willing to testify before Congress. That all sounds great. He said the company would notify everyone whose data was improperly used. There's a lot there, David. What was your reaction? Kretzmann, probably the most surprising thing to me was his response to the question, why shouldn't you be regulated? He was basically saying, no, actually, I think we should be regulated, something along those lines. I thought, that's probably a mature response, shows that he's not the rebellious college kid in the dorm room trying to disrupt everything and break things. But to me, it also raises the question, why do you need to wait for regulation to happen to bring more transparency to the advertising happening on Facebook's platform? In general, I thought it was a good start for him to finally make a public apology, explain a little bit of what's going on. I don't know why it took them several days to get to that point. But all in all, a good start. It makes me a little more confident that this is something that Facebook can get behind it and move ahead of this story. Gross, yeah? I'm probably in a forgiving mood this week. I'm not piling on Facebook and Zuckerberg. I think this actually isn't a Facebook problem, it's a technology data privacy problem that was bound to happen, and it has been happening over the last few years with many companies and data breaches and improperly using data. Even back in 2014, Facebook took steps to improve this. A lot of this stuff that went on happened in 2013. It's not like Facebook has been sitting on its hands. Agreed that they need to do more. Zuckerberg is not an out in front of the camera kind of guy, but I thought he was sincere. And I think he had to do that interview and it was appropriate, and I do think he needs to go in front of Congress if need be, for sure. But I think all companies are going to have to figure out how to protect our data better. As David said, this is a story about regulation, and is regulation necessary? Companies need to police themselves. But, probably, some regulation is going to be necessary. Then, there's